So today we're going to talk about what happens if you just take out part of your meniscus. Um, as you would imagine, the thinking began to shift from removing the whole meniscus, just taking part of it out, and the new technology of arthroscopic surgery was now allowing this to be done more efficiently. Okay, so this procedure, taking out only part of the meniscus, is known as a partial meniscectomy, and it soon became the popular surgical option for the torn meniscus. So that's the end of the story, right? Well, of course, it doesn't end there. That would be too easy. As soon as partial meniscectomy became widespread, it was just a matter of time before researchers again began following patients to see how they ended up faring over the years. Here's one example. 57 patients that had a partial meniscectomy were followed. X-rays were taken of both knees before and after surgery. Well, before surgery, and again in 5 to 12 years after surgery. Okay, long-term follow-up is good. Researchers found a much higher progression of arthritis in the operated knee when compared to the other one. And that's pretty much what the conclusion is of the vast majority of research on partial meniscectomies and arthritis. Increased rates of arthritis after surgery. So either way you slice it, no pun intended, it looks like surgically removing all or even some of the meniscus definitely increases your chances of getting arthritis. Okay. At this point, some readers might be wondering if one procedure puts you at more risk for arthritis than the other, having a partial meniscectomy or a total one. Good question. Thankfully, there's research to tell us. For example, there are studies that have taken groups of people who have had partial meniscectomies and some total meniscectomies and compared how well they did over the years. So here you go. In this study, researchers looked at 36 people, 18 had partial meniscectomy, 18 had total meniscectomy. X-rays were taken of their knees 14 years after their surgeries. Additionally, a control group with no known history of knee injury was matched to each of these 36 patients according to sex, age, previous activity. They also had knee x-rays. Radiographic changes in the knee, such as joint space narrowing, were seen in 33% of those who had a partial meniscectomy, okay, compared to 72% who had the whole thing took out, total meniscectomy. Only 11% of the control group showed radiographic changes in the knee. Okay, so other long-term follow-up studies also has reached the same conclusion. For example, one study followed patients for 22 years and found that having a partial meniscectomy was associated with less arthritis over time than you take the whole thing out. So there you go. That's it according to the literature.